you to those of you who are currently here. I want to go ahead and welcome in our very special host that is also going to be helping me with this presentation. And Batadam, can you go ahead and introduce yourself to our great attendees?
Hey, Sarah, thank you so much. My name is Batadam. I'm currently a student at the University of the People. I'm also a two-time author, best-selling author of the book Entering the Zone of Success. So glad to be here. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. Really appreciate your help. I know some people are having some connection issues. Just try and refresh to see if that maybe helps with some of the sound. Shout out to those of you who are talking in the chat. We love to see you guys interacting. Just a quick heads up again, we won't be able to hear you guys' audio, but we're super excited that you guys are here. Feel free to answer or to ask any questions in the chat because we do have some program advisors here that will answer any of the specific questions you might have about UoPeople, the courses, the registration process, all of those great things. We do want to give people who might be joining exactly at 10 a few minutes in case they're running into technical issues. So we'll be starting at about 10:05. Shout out to Ryan. He's from Indonesia, wants to study computer science. We have another person from Myanmar, Burma. Someone from Egypt, they're going to study computer science as well. Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, business admin. Business administration has a special place in my heart, so gotta love that. Hello from the U.S., but immigrant parents. I will be a health science student. Love it. Indonesia, love to see it. So glad that you guys are here. Shout out to the Philippines as well. We'll be starting in a few more minutes. We have people from BSN. Okay, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and get started for this event. Thank you guys so much again for joining us on this webinar. A lot of you guys, I see someone asked how, someone else asked how long would the webinar be? We're trying to keep it under 45 minutes. We don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. So that is going to be our little tracker for today. That will be me. And let's just hop straight into how you guys can balance life and online study. So we are going to be you guys' host for today. My name is Sarah O. I am a digital content producer here at UoPeople. And if you were not here earlier when Mbatadem introduced himself, I'm going to let him introduce himself again for some of our new attendees.
Hey, again, everyone, welcome. So glad to always do this. I'm Mbatadem Dash, currently a student at the University of the People. I'm a two-time author, best-selling author of the book Entering the Zone of Success. But I'm glad to study at the University of the People so I can get a degree and go do big things in the world.
Love it. We love it. And that's what we're hoping that all of you in the chat today can do as well. Just some quick housekeeping items, how this webinar works. So session is only set up for one-way audio, meaning that you can hear us, but we cannot hear you. And please use the chat box to type all of your questions. We do have program advisors on the call with us today, so they will be able to answer your questions. If we are not able to get to all of your questions, or if maybe you missed something in the presentation, please do not worry, because this presentation as well as the recording of this webinar will be sent to you after this meeting. So just a quick agenda. We went over our welcome. We're going to quickly talk about goal setting, managing school life balance, as well as how to register for classes at UoPeople, some quick updates, and then finish off with a Q&A discussion at the end. So goal setting. All of us have maybe had a goal or thought of a goal, and I want us to actually practice that today in this meeting. So I want you guys in the chat, I'll give you about a minute. What is one goal that you have for this webinar? Do you want to find out more about how to register for UoPeople? Do you want to figure out how to manage your time better? What do you want to come out of this meeting with? I'll give you guys like 30 seconds, 45 seconds to tell us in the chat what your goal for this webinar is. To get help, we love to see it. That's what we're here to do, give you guys some help. Thank you, Jody, for that answer. Anyone else, what goals do you have to come out of this webinar with? Learn how to register for classes and manage my time wisely. That's perfect. How to manage my time, how to manage time between study, family, and personal, how to manage my time, learn about scholarships. I'm here to get help. Love it. I'm so glad how to manage time management. This is perfect because this is Mbatadam's like forte, time management and learning how to manage time and life to study, how to correctly enroll for the next term. So thank you guys so much for all of these answers. And these are right in line with what we're going to be talking about today. So goal setting in particular, a lot of you may be looking for your long-term goal to have a degree from UoPeople or just a degree in general. And then there are some SMART goals. And I'm going to let Mbatadam take the lead on this because he knows a lot about SMART goals. And what ways do you use SMART goals in your day-to-day life, Mbatadam?
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. I think for me, SMART goals are important, and it's a staple in the community. Everyone knows about SMART goals, but the big thing about SMART goals, the way I use is I have to be specific. I'm taking 2 classes this term. I want to get an A in both of them. So to get that, that's my specific goal. Now, what happens at the end of the semester, maybe it's a different thing, but I have to set measurable goals. I have to set measurable tasks. I have to set stuff that's attainable. So for me, getting an A is going to be attainable. So specific, measurable, attainable, relevant. Sometimes most of the things, one of the challenges I had earlier was when I started with the online university was, oh man, I would set these goals that was just unreasonable. I want to finish the 2 chapters because most of the classes wanted to read 2 chapters a week. So the 2 chapters, I want to read them in one day, and it was with my busy schedule and work and life and family, it was not possible. So I had to make them relevant, make them attainable, break them into small pieces. So again, if you're listening to us, setting goals is important, but learning how to break them into manageable chunks is actually even more important.
Yes, exactly. And just like Mbatadam said, it's very hard to be living life and be a student and be potentially a worker. It's a lot of things that you have to do. And I'm glad that even you're giving that example. Don't bite off more than you can chew. You don't have to do all 2 chapters in a day. But if you do say that, then you might not be able to actually achieve that short-term goal. So love that. Making sure it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. Gotta love it. So self-motivation and discipline, this is something that everyone struggles with, especially when life is not going well, especially when you maybe didn't do so well one week in a class. How do you constantly stay motivated to do well especially at UoPeople being fully online? In Mbatadam, what ways do you stay motivated and stay disciplined when you're working?
Someone wrote a book a few years ago. It says, "Don't sweat the small stuff. It's only small stuff." So
Right.
I've learned not to sweat the small because in the online university, like the University of the People, one of the things that happens is you're graded by other students, and so sometimes you look at what some students like how they grade your paper. It's hard not to stay objective. It's hard not to get pissed off. So I remember last week I saw the way a student graded my paper, and he just backed it all crazy, and I was just. But I've learned over the years, being at university, people don't sweat the small stuff, and so the 3 things I do, I call them the ABCs. A stands for adapt. You've got to learn to adapt to the online environment. It's not like taking classes in the classroom where you can ask the professor. So you want to learn how to adapt. Number 2 is believe, the ABC. So B stands for believe. You've got to believe in yourself because you're going to have moments you're going to doubt yourself. There are going to be moments you want to quit. There are going to be moments you just cry yourself because sometimes I'm reading the book and I don't understand the heck what they're saying. And sometimes, Sarah, I just want to quit, but I've learned to just believe that I can do it. And the C is commit. You gotta, you can be interested or you can be committed. Are you interested in getting your degree or are you committed to it? I'm committed to it. So if you're listening to me, you want to practice the ABCs. A, adapt to your environment. B, believe. And C, stay committed to the end because you got greatness in you.
Exactly. Adapt, believe, and commitment is super duper important. If you're not committed to getting through the struggles, if you're not committed to coming back even when things are hard and working hard to make sure that you can achieve your degree, it's going to be very hard to get there. So ABCs, make sure that you are always doing those things to stay disciplined. So managing school life balance. This is something that most of us at UoPeople are struggling with or going to have to deal with. The majority of us, about 98% of our students, do work while attending UoPeople. So how many of you guys in the chat, I'll give you guys a minute or so, how many of you guys are going to be working while pursuing your UoPeople degree? How many of you? Let's see if there are any. Yes, all of you guys will receive an email with this recording as well as the slides that we use today. So if you're having any recording issues or listening or issues with the audio, do not worry, you'll get a full recording of everything. Great. So I see Dennis, I see Abu, I see Florence, AJ, Peter, Jody, Stanley, or Chris, everyone, almost all of you guys. One person even, Tabitha, is working 2 jobs. So they are here and they want to get their degree, because all of us know the importance of an education, but managing your school and life balance is super duper important when getting there. So time management, I struggle with time management. We all have probably struggled with time management. And I'm glad that the majority of us in the chat are still saying that we're working, because working and studying, sometimes they go hand in hand. Sometimes you might have to change your work schedule so that you can study more. Sometimes you might have to change your study schedule so you can get your work done. And Batadem, what are some ways that you were able to manage your time? Because you've written books, you have your family, you have your work, you have schooling. How do you manage to manage your time with all of these great things that you do?
Sarah, I'm glad you said how have I managed it, but I'm glad you think I've managed. I've learned it. No, I'm still learning. Because some weeks are crazy. And
yes.
If you're saying you're struggling with time management, please, we all struggle with it. But one of the things I've learned from my mentors is creating chunks of time. So I could create a chunk of time. I'm going to study for the next 2 hours. After 2 hours, I can't take anymore. I have to take a break. So when you look at your life, your schedule for the week, how do you intend to spend your week? Because most of us don't spend time planning. And if you want to be successful, especially in this online environment, you have to plan. Because like someone said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So for me, when I'm managing my time, okay, I wake up in the morning and I say, okay, today, how do I intend to spend the 24 hours? But I know I'm going to school. I need to pass my classes. So I purposely create space for me to study, because if you leave your study up to randomness, you will end up not studying for the week, and you wake up on Wednesday morning stressed out trying to get your stuff done before Wednesday night, and
it's a mess, chaos.
That's true. So I chunk things into my days, and I make sure I create time intentionally for study.
Right. I love that. Intentionality is something that will take you very far, especially when studying online. And comfortable study space, you just said in Batadam that you always make sure that you kind of block off your time. This is a picture here actually of one of our students that are based in India, and this is where they choose to study on a regular basis. You can see they have their highlighters, their pen, their computer, great room, great study light, even notes on their wall. What are some things that you always have to have when you're studying for a class in Batadam?
Well, I think for me, like, I love her study space, the picture we have on there. For me, I remember those days when they used to allow people to go to the bookstores. I like to go to Barnes and Noble and sit down there and study, but now you can't do that, so I have to stay home. I just make sure my environment is comfortable. I have water next to me. I don't like clutter on my study table, so I move everything away. So you have to, everyone's going to be different. So you have to study yourself. Like someone said, make a study of yourself. And when you study yourself, what makes you become better? What brings out your productivity? What brings out your creative juice? What makes you study better? Figure it out for yourself and do more of those things that make you shine.
Yes, I love that. And especially for me, I know my phone is a distraction when I'm studying. I hide my phone in a drawer away, just away from me. because I'm like, I'm not going to get distracted. This is my space to be productive, and my phone is not going to give me productivity, so it has to go away. You might even have to talk to your family. You guys are not going to let me be productive. You need to go away for this hour of time that I blocked off so I can be comfortable and I can study and I can get my degree. We all have to have those comfortable study spaces. Working strategically, now this one is the one I struggle with because, sometimes I'm hopping all over the place, doing things and being distracted. But whenever it's possible, avoiding procrastination. I'm like one of the procrastination masters. I feel like, oh, well, it gets done. But that stress, that level of stress that you have while you're procrastinating can definitely be avoided. So how do you avoid, or even if you do have procrastination, how do you kind of get over those moments of procrastination, and how or when do you work ahead to make sure that you can buy extra time for your future self?
Well, Sarah, I think every one of us that are on this call, or everyone who's listening to us, we all have moments where we struggle with procrastinating or staying productive. Life is happening. Like, I was in the middle of a move during this term, and I'm thinking, man, should I have taken the term off? But that's life. And so I had to basically, some days I couldn't study, and then I have to push it. Like, the first week of school this term was crazy because I waited till Wednesday to get all my stuff done.
Oh no.
I was stressed out.
I know. With 2 courses too, I know it couldn't have been easy.
I was stressed out. So I try not to do that. So what I do, I space it out. But again, you're going to have weeks where that happens. That's life.
Right.
Adapt, move on, and just so you are not procrastinating all the time, because it will cause you, especially with this online, with what we do at university, the people were not having the opportunity to be in class. It can be challenging. So please, don't procrastinate. Space out your studying time, and it will work out in the end.
I love that. Space it out. Work as quickly as you can, but do not waste to the last minute, because nobody likes being in stress.
Turn off the Netflix, right?
Yes, exactly. I love it. So participation and review, and Batadem, you were just talking about how a classmate almost, just had marks all over your paperwork, and it is very enlightening to be able to review other students' work and see their life experiences and really get to know people on a global scale, even from the comfort of your home where you're studying at. But how do you think, what ways do you think staying connected with your peers and instructors have actually helped you be a better student at UoPeople?
Well, I think everything is online, so you have to connect with people. I remember one of my classes, we actually set up a WhatsApp group where we could communicate with one another, because sometimes you're studying some of the materials, you don't understand it. Hey, what do you think about this? And then you can provide help. But I love university people. One of the things I love about them is their instructors are very understanding. The instructors, I remember I took a class, was it the 2 terms ago, and I thought the instructor was my enemy, but I discovered that. The reason I thought that was he was so strict with the APA formatting. And I'm like, man, sir, I don't understand this. But I ended up talking to him. I realized he was actually a nice guy. He said, Bartlett, I'm trying to help you in the future so you understand for your other classes. So the instructors to help. So reach out to them. I mean, we have the resource center, the learning center, and then you have we have advisors,
program advisors.
So there's so many ways to stay connected. But again, I grew up in Nigeria, and so I'm we don't ask for help.
Right. Exactly. I know exactly what that means.
So I'm learning even till now how to just say, hey, listen, I need help. Can you help me? It doesn't make me less of a human being asking for help.
Exactly.
So we encourage our people who are listening, please, if you're having challenges, reach out to someone, reach out to your professor, reach out to your fellow students, reach out to your advisors. Everyone here wants to make sure you succeed.
Yes, because they genuinely care and they understand our demographic is students, adults, workers. They understand life gets crazy. It's a pandemic still going on. Things happen, and you have to tell them that things are happening. You can't just start drowning under the workload without explaining to your program advisor, without explaining to your course facilitator. Somebody talk to us, because we cannot help if we do not know you need help. So never hesitate to talk to anyone at UoPeople and tell them I need help, because we are always going to be here to help you all. And ask for help. Perfect transition into our next one. So like I was saying, 98% of our students work. So you will have to lean on those peers. You will have to ask somebody for help. And like Mbatadem said, WhatsApp groups, we have Yammer, we have Facebook groups, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we even are starting YouTube. We have different communities on different platforms that UoPeople make sure to manage, and you guys can even work on the side in a WhatsApp group or Facebook chat and talk to one another, because this is the only way that we'll be able to achieve our degree, asking for help. So quick recall, we went through a lot of things, we talked about a lot of things. Did you know that recalling some things help you retain information for longer periods of time? So I want you guys to mention one tip that we've recommended, me or Mbatadem, that you'll try using in the chat, whether that's asking for help, whether that's making sure you have a comfortable study space, any of the tips that we have went over. What is one thing that you will take away and make sure to try and do in the future? I'll give you guys, let me set a timer for a minute and a half. Try to think about it. What is one thing that you really want to make sure you do so you can achieve your degree this time around? Hello from Uganda. Peer connections and collaborations. Yes, it's super important to make sure that you are talking to your peers and getting help from them. Being your own motivator. Yes. SMART goals. Love that, Anna. Dreaming, yes, making sure that you hold on to your dreams is very important. It might seem like it doesn't, move quickly, but it's definitely something that will help motivate you, remembering why you started. Taking notes, asking for help. I love that. Setting your schedules. Yes, making sure you have a concrete schedule. Career growth, long-term goals / SMART goals. Self-motivating, making SMART goals. Focusing on motivating yourself, using that for your future and your achievement, spacing your assignments out during the week. You do not have to do it all on one day. Someone said time management, stop procrastinating and work. For working students, have possible assignment submission times. Those of you still typing, you got 20 seconds. I got my alarm ready. The tutor, maintaining SMART techniques and being motivated. Love all of these. Having a great relationship with peers and instructors. Yes. Yes, I love all these answers. So thank you guys so much for answering. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next section, which is how to register. So all of us have talked about our SMART goals. We talked about staying motivated. We talked about avoiding procrastination and all of these other great tips that we have discussed. So now we're going to try and talk about how we can actually register for courses at UoPeople. So for those of you who are on a leave of absence, please expect to receive an email from Student Services inviting you to re-register for your classes. We do have a large volume of students who are trying to register, so please be patient when you are looking for that email. Once you receive that email, you are going to be able to log into the portal, and that's where you can enter My Courses, and you'll see the steps to register. And here are the steps that you'll see. For those of you who may have been on a leave of absence for a while, don't worry if this page looks a little bit different. This was taken from Foundation, so depending on the courses that you have taken or you're currently taking, this might be a little bit different. So this is what the portal now looks like. It has a fresh new update. And once you get there, once you get to the portal, you'll be able to see My Courses. So here is just how everything looks. You see your current courses, you see the future courses that you have to take. And on the left-hand side, once you log in, that is where you'll be able to click My Courses, and that is when the registration process can begin. Once you click My Courses, then you will see this page right here, and it'll give you the option to select the course that you want to take. For some of you who may, again, have been on a leave of absence for a while, it won't look like it did before, but now this is our updated look. So just so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. And once you actually register, you'll see a confirm registration, and all you have to do is go ahead and click confirm so that you can register for that course. So this processing request page is very important to understand. As soon as you confirm your registration information will be sent on the back end to UoPeople. And once it's processing, we, as in UoPeople's team, will go in on the back and make sure that all of your information is correct. Once it is approved on the back end, meaning that it may take some time for it to be approved, there are a lot of students, we have to make sure that every single thing is correct, you'll be notified by email. So this takes time. Please do not worry if you haven't seen an email in 24 hours or the next day. It does take time to ensure that all of your information is correct. So once you're approved, you'll be notified. Do not worry if you haven't received it within that week. So please be patient. And if you have any concerns at all about the registration process, or if you're like, oh, it's been a week and I haven't received anything, please do not hesitate. Once again, we said asking for help is the most important thing that you can do while you're at UoPeople. Talk to your program advisors, send them an email, let them know that you've re-registered for your courses, but for some reason you haven't received an email. They will be able to get you the information that you need and keep you in the loop on what is going on the back end. So please make sure once you do this, you're registered, your process request is in. If you have any questions, ask your program advisors because that is what they're due to help. And I think that's it. So that's it. If you have any questions about the registration process, feel free to ask in the chat. We have program advisors who are going to be able to answer all of those questions. And then some updates for UoPeople in general. I am starting on the YouTube channel. Like I told you guys, I am the new digital content producer here, and I'm starting to do a lot more fun videos, a lot more interactive posts on our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in getting to know UoPeople a little bit more, or even seeing some more videos that we have on our channel, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for you guys in the chat for anyone who is interested in watching those videos. So those are just some quick updates that we have. Also, we're thinking about starting an esports team. I'm just putting that out there for anyone who knows about video games and things like that. So make sure to check out our channel. Make sure to check out our channel. Oh, what's your YouTube channel? I'll put it in the chat again. I don't know if it actually came through. There we go. So just again, on the YouTube channel, we just started it. Can I pin it? No, I cannot. But on the YouTube channel, we just started it. It's going to be very fun. We're going to start doing fun facts. We're going to start doing esports teams. We have motivational Mondays. So we already have motivational quotes that go up every Monday. We have wellness reset polls on Wednesdays. So I give you guys some tips on how to reset your week. If for some reason, maybe you procrastinated and needed to do all of your assignments on that Wednesday, you have a little motivation from the website to actually, or from the website, you have a little motivation from the channel to push you to finish off very strong. So updates and discussion, we have our Q&A questions. So I'm going to look in the chat and see which questions we can ask. I'm going to ask Mbatadem some of the questions. So Mbatadem, I know you were saying that you get in contact with your program advisor and they've helped you with a lot of things. How do you actually get in contact with them, and what are some examples of some of the things that you talk to your program advisor about?
Well, your program advisor, like for example, today is the day. Tomorrow rather is the day. This is the fourth week of the term. So if you want to drop class and get so it doesn't affect your GPA, you can do so. So your program advisor would reach out to you. So she's already reached out to me. Hey, Mbatadem, here's what's happening tomorrow. If you're going to drop the class. So most people, any student, anyone who starts at University of the People, the program advisor actually reaches out to you and tells you, hey, I'm your program advisor. So now if you have any questions, you can reach out to them. Some of the things I reached out to my program advisor was when I was taking a leave of absence, reached out to her and say, hey, listen, I'm going to be taking the leave of absence. What do I need to do? Do I need to do this? What are the procedures? And so she reached out to me and gave me the answers. So that's some of the ways I reach out to my program advisor and some of the things that she helps me with.
Perfect. I love that. So that is super important. Remember, your program is the program that you are in can also, affect your program advisor, and they're always there to help you with something. And then back to them, I know you're in the business administration program, and someone was asking how strict or complex are the courses actually? So are they super difficult? What is like a day-to-day or like a week-to-week normal regulation or normal schedule for what your courses would look like at UoPeople?
Well, right now I'm taking principles of finance, and I'm taking macroeconomics. They're not the easiest courses out there because
Right.
I remember when I was back in high school, economics was never my thing. So, but I have to take it for my degree. So.
Right.
There are a lot of complex topics, but okay, I remember when I took accounting and basic accounting. This was Greek to me when I started, and I remember by the
Right.
fourth week it started making sense. You just have to stay with it. In a life, when you're doing anything that's new, it's anything that's unfamiliar, it's going to be scary, it's going to be fearful, it's going to be challenging. But once you understand, like we talked about the ABCs earlier, adapt, belief, and commitment. Once you're committed to this, you don't quit. Nothing.
Right.
Everyone listening to us, listen, it's not going to be easy. I think sometimes we have this belief life is supposed to be easy, the classes are supposed to be easy. No, you're going to have classes that are really challenging. But if you make up your mind before you start that I'm not quitting, when the challenges come, you're going to find there's a power within you that can rise up to help you overcome it. So my mantra is don't quit, keep going on no matter the challenges. Just make up your mind, I'm going to stay with this. And when you stay with it now, when the challenges come, you start saying, who do I get help from? Then you reach out to the professor. Hey, I have a challenge with this. You reach out to your advisors. What do I do? You reach out to your fellow classmates. But at the end of the day, it has to start with that belief that I'm not quitting.
Right, exactly. Never quitting is super important. And I know someone else was asked or saying discussion forums help a lot, and it's very much peer-to-peer review. So you might be writing a lot, it might seem overwhelming, but it's actually going to help you in the long run. I hope I'm saying this right. First now, they said peers and instructors share their thoughts, experiences, and research. I think this is one of the best methods to acquire knowledge, and it really is. You get to hear from people's personal experiences, their life experiences. And sure, you can watch a TV show about it or maybe watch a movie about it, but it's very different having to read, even if it is an APA format, but having to read their life stories or their experiences to really understand the course itself, because it really does help. The real life experiences is not just trying to give you information, it's trying to give you real life skills. So time management, making sure that you can work on your own, making sure that you can work with others. All of these things are things that you're going to do no matter what program you're in, no matter what course you're in, because that is the way that UoPeople structures its courses. Let me see a few more questions. Credit transfers, we do have program advisors who are going to answer some of those questions in the chat. Someone said, can I register for more courses after leave of absence as to make up for the lost term? So just in case anyone was not here earlier or just needs a quick refresher for the registration process, I do want to go over it one more time because it's very important that you understand how it will work. So after this webinar, not immediately after, do not ask your program advisor, I haven't received my email from Student Services yet. It will take some time, but you will receive an email for re-registration. Once you receive this email, you are going to use the email to log into the portal and then enter my courses. Once again, it will take time for this email to get to you. It will not come to you right after this webinar is over, but it will come. Once you receive the email and log into your portal, this is what you'll see. It is a fully updated portal. If you haven't been in classes for a while now, it might look a little bit different to you, but this is our brand new look. You have your courses that are taken, online campus, academic achievements, your current courses as well as the future courses that you have to register for. Once you get to this landing page, on the left-hand side, that is where you can actually see the courses. So once you click My Courses and then click Register for Courses right underneath it, this is what pops up. So once you get here, you'll be able to see the course that you have to register for. Whichever course you may have missed, so whichever course you didn't get to take while you were on your leave of absence, it's going to be there for you to take so that you can finish your degree. Your program advisors have that information, and all of your information is going to be personalized. So do not worry if you do not see online education strategies, arts and sciences elective, because that is not your program. That is probably not the course you have to take. This is from screenshots from Foundation. So if you've already taken these courses, you will be seeing something different. Once you click next, you will confirm your registration for that course. All you have to do again is click confirm registration in pink at the very bottom. And then it'll show you that your that your request is processing. Once you see request processing, it does not mean that you are automatically enrolled for your class. We have to go in on the back end, make sure all of your information is correct, make sure that the course you selected is actually the course you need to graduate. And then once that is done, it takes time. So please do not say, oh, it hasn't been done in 24 hours, so that means that I'm not registered and nothing's going to happen. No. It will take time. Your program advisors are working on the back end. We are working on the back end to make sure all of the information is correct before you start classes, before the term begins, because you do not want to be, oh, I accidentally registered for the wrong class. It's going to be an issue once the term begins because it's going to be very hard to change it. So we want to make sure you don't have to deal with those issues. You don't have to deal with any last minute changes at the beginning of the term because we know you guys have work. We know you guys have family. We know you guys want to manage your time correctly, and you can't manage your time correctly if you're accidentally enrolled in the wrong course. So we're going to make sure your process or your request is processed correctly. And then that would be basically, you're going to receive an email once it actually is processed correctly, and then you can actually be enrolled in that course. So just another explanation for the registration process in case anyone was confused. Someone said, so your program advisor, you can reach out to them through email so that you can talk to them about re-registering as well as transferring any credits. Yes, so I hope that was, I know somebody else asked, they're starting in November, business administration. That was just a quick explanation for registration again. And in Batadem, what are some tips, what are some things that you really want people to walk away from this webinar understanding?
Well, I'll call it the 3 A's of success in online learning. The first one is your attitude. How do you see things? Because how you see things will determine how you show up. If you think it's going to be hard, then you show up with this mindset, well, I don't think I can do it. Or, well, the person reviewed my stuff wrongly, so I'm going to quit. So what's your attitude to this whole stuff? Are you interested in getting your degree in the next 2 years for your associates or 4 years for your bachelor's degree? Your attitude. The second A is action. Listen, nothing works except you take action. Nothing is going to work. We all can sit here and say, well, I'm registered for classes, but you actually have to open the book and read.
Right.
You actually have to write the papers.
Right.
This is college and this is university. People is very strict on plagiarism, so you don't want to go and copy someone's paper from the internet. So you have to sit down to write the paper. So the first one is attitude, the second one is action, the last one is accountability. Who's holding you accountable? Because many times we just say big things. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to get my degree.
Right.
Yes, you said you want to get your degree. Is anyone holding you accountable? Find someone,
right.
a friend or family member to hold you accountable every week and say, hey, Sarah, did you do your assignment this week? Did you get your work done? Are you still feeling motivated? Do you feel like quitting? Get someone to hold you accountable. So the 3 A's again, attitude, action, accountability.
I love that. Attitude. We had the 3 A's, we had the ABCs. All of these are just super easy things to remember, and I honestly love them. And even especially accountability, you might say, I'm going to get my degree. But if you don't have those SMART goals, if you don't have someone to remind you what you said you would do sometimes, it's very easy to basically forget, or to just basically be discouraged and feel like you can't do anything that you said you can do. But even if you might have a hard time self-motivating, if you have an accountability partner, even if you potentially reach out to a peer and say, hey, I know we're in this class together, I think that I read your work. I want you to hold me accountable, and every Tuesday, make sure both of our work is done, or, something that makes you feel like once you are actually starting, you're not alone, because it can be very isolating, or it can make you feel very by yourself working from home or learning from home and being at this, being online and not really getting to see your other classmates. But even being online, being around the world, you can still connect with people who will help you. And that's the biggest thing about UoPeople. We wouldn't be where we are without the help of our students, without students helping one another. It's definitely it's a community of people, and we always want to help each other as much as we can. Someone said, my mom always said, once you start a race, no matter what comes your way, finish it. And that is 100%. Yes, that's just, I love that. I love that. Your mom definitely, she was on it with that one, because it's hard. You might run into a rock, or you might fall into a ditch because you didn't see it there. And sometimes that's what happens with learning, but it's super important to keep pushing and keep fighting no matter what. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time, but I want you to say thank you so much to our program advisor, Baba Jide, in the chat, who has been helping us answer all of you guys' great questions. I want to say thank you so much to Kate, who's here, to Mbatadam. Thank you guys so much for spending your time this morning with us, trying to help our students. And Mbatadam, is there anything else? Yeah, you've been giving us great tips. Anything else you want to say to our attendees before we head off for today?
No matter how bad it gets or how hard it gets, you're going to make it. I like what my mentor says. I'll end with this. He says something less proud. He says, when life knocks you on the ground, make sure you land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get out. So it doesn't matter how bad you failed or things didn't work out. Keep pushing, keep trying, because you're going to get that degree. I believe in you. We believe in you. Sarah believes in you. And that's what we're doing this.
Guys. Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you all so much. Looking forward to, potentially seeing you guys on our social channels or in classes. Good luck to every single one of you. You guys got this. You're going to do great things. And thank you again for stopping by on this webinar. Bye, everyone.